How's it going? I'm going to make a liver rescue broth. This is a medical medium recipe that I love. You can enjoy it any time of the year. It's a really gorgeous broth that does wonders for your liver. You can use it in soups or as a warming liquid gold that you can sip on throughout the day. Either way, I hope you enjoy and give it a try. I love it, highly recommend, get you some. Now, the most time-consuming part of the process, besides the cooking of the broth, is the prepping of the vegetables and the herbs, which I always find to be very rewarding, as I feel like I'm taking in the nutrients via using my hands. Let's do some plant-based prepping. All right, so I've got all the ingredients prepped. Just gonna take my pot here and pour them into the sink because that's a lot of veggies right there. I don't wanna make a mess. Into the pot with the veggies, going to pour some filtered water. I have 16 cups of filtered water here because I want to make this broth stretch out a bit. Let's put it on the stove. Turn the stove on to high, let it boil, then cover with a lid, turn it down to simmer, turned it down to simmer. Don't forget to stir periodically, allowing to cook anywhere from 1 to 4 hours. Look at those beautiful veggies and herbs coming together to create just the right flavor along with perfect health benefits. The Liver Rescue Healing Broth is done, so let's grab it from the stove. You'll want to have a colander with a bowl underneath of some sort to strain the broth off and keep the innards here. So keep in mind, you can eat the soup as is, broth and veggies intact, and it'd be very delicious. I'm going to specifically use the broth in another soup, a chickpea noodle soup. This is another medical medium recipe that I really love. And I'm gonna save this part for some extra meals. So let me show you our ingredients here. Dried organic chickpeas were soaked overnight, rinsed, and they're nearly done cooking because these are going to go into the soup. These are the ingredients and the amazing Liver Rescue Broth. I have 16 cups of that, 2 cups of diced celery, 2 cups of diced carrot, 2 cups of diced onion, 3 cups of cooked chickpea, 1/2 cup of fresh parsley, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric, 2 teaspoons of dried parsley, 2 teaspoons of dried oregano, and 2 teaspoons of sea salt, along with organic brown rice, quinoa, pasta. Going to go ahead and use this same pot rather than clean it. First thing we're gonna do is steam the onion and the carrot and the celery together with a little bit of filtered water. No added oil. Get that steaming. And you'll have dinner ready in no time at this point. Turn on your stove. This should steam just fine in a non-stick pan. I'm going to add just a little bit of filtered water, however. I just put a half cup in there. And stir periodically for just a few minutes before we add the rest of the ingredients. You hear that, right? That's the sound of the carrot, onion, and celery steaming in nothing but a little bit of filtered water. You don't need oil, and that's the beauty of cooking this way. You can minimize the fat and still enjoy the flavor. And I'm not sure if I neglected to mention how bomb it smells in here right now. I'm excited to eat this soup tonight. Let's add the other ingredients to the mix. Adding the broth. The chickpeas, all of the herbs and spices, and the pasta, 16 ounces. Stir, and let's bring it to a boil. Now that it's boiling, turn it down to simmer. And set the timer for 15 minutes. Once the pasta and the veggies are tender, the soup is ready. Can't wait. So we made the Liver Rescue Broth and we used it in the chickpea noodle soup. And now I'm going to use the leftover veggies from the broth and make another extremely easy soup. So we'll take the leftover veggies, some filtered water, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of sea salt because this actually has no salt in it, so I'm going to add some salt now. And blend. Let's give it a taste. Now, if you're feeling under the weather or you just want something really nourishing and super healthy, try this out. Super good. I'm gonna eat this with some of the vegan organic bread that we just made as well. Peace.